I would like to turn, though, before we end, I thought that Roy here made not only a profound statement, and I really appreciate being able to hear that, and I want to get your notes, but also a very unusual probing challenge to the businessmen, the corporate people and publishers and whatnot in this audience. It's a very select audience. And I know that his intention was not, you people are complicit, you people are to be blamed in some way, but rather a challenge. You're on the spot. You are facing a challenge at this moment of profound implications for our democracy. And I would like to follow up some of the comments that have been made here on corporate government collaboration, often necessary, important, including keeping some secrets, which, as you said, I certainly agree. There are secrets that should be kept. But the FBI, the NSA, the government, the executive branch, has two responsibilities in this area where they would like corporate collaboration. One, they would like total transparency of the public, of the citizens, of their private lives. They can't have too much information. They cannot have too much information about that. And for a lot of reasons, which I could go into, not just for prosecution, not just for whatnot, but for manipulation, for choosing their policies, for one gigantic focus group. But above all, how many of you here have seen the movie The Lives of Others? Which was, how many have not seen that? An Academy Award movie for foreign film about 4 or 5 years ago about the Stasi, S-T-A-S-I, the secret police of the German Democratic Republic, the GDR. And their motto at the epigraph at the beginning of the film is, aim of the Stasi, to know everything. Now when NSA, a government organ, set out under orders to listen in to domestic conversations on September 12th, 2001, clearly illegal, clearly unconstitutional, but they all did it, and there were no leaks for years and years on that subject. They were using a technology which a lot of you people helped. Well, no, this is telephone technology. You were involved in telephone. Two things here, which the Stasi couldn't dream of, that kind of access. Went beyond what and let me mention one thing the Stasi needed, which shows in that movie. There's a lot of information that isn't said on the phone, that isn't said anywhere but in bed, or to a relative, or to the closest friend, orally, maybe in the forest. How do they get to that, to know everything? Well, the film shows very clearly. They blackmail the people from information they've gotten from the wiretaps and say, if your daughter wants to go to college, if you don't want this, if you want that, it's what they want, knowing what they want and what they fear, you better cooperate with us to get the information that isn't written down, that isn't on the tin. In other words, to make a nation of informants, which is what the GDR was. A nation of informants, even beyond what Stalin had achieved in Russia. Now, we now know that it wasn't just NSA who was listening to all that. It was all the telephone, not quite all the telephone companies. One of them, remember, resisted and got punished for it. But AT&T and the others all cooperated. Now, the other thing that the government wants is total, if possible, opacity of their own operations. That the government should know, not total, but the public should know only what they want them to know, only what they permit them to know, true or false, whether it's true or false, but that they control everything else. Okay, what we've been hearing about here, to some extent, is something a little new, private corporations helping maintain that opacity. How? Because WikiLeaks comes along using your technology and the technology to increase transparency of government, unauthorized. They don't want that. Total transparency? No, that is a straw man, totally straw man. I'm not in favor of it. The government needs some secrecy, deserves some privacy. Assange has said the same thing to me. I said, do you believe in total transparency? He said, that's absurd. Of course not. And as is shown by his actions, he has 251,000 state cables. He has released on his website about 1,900 chosen by the press. He's given them editorial control in effect. He's released less than 1% of what he has and what someone, maybe Bradley Manning, gave him. That's very discriminate. it's less than 1%, and the choice has been made by the newspapers. But it's more than they want, than the government wants. So how to shut him down? Well, as I said, they have a problem with prosecution, though they may surmount that and take their chances on unconstitutional. But short of that, get Amazon to cut off their funding, get PayPal to cut off their funding, get other people in on the act, help these corporations now extra legally helping the government stop a transparent move. While on the other hand, one last point, if you